It's a WRAL weather alert day. I'm tracking heavy downpours and the possibility of storms firing up.
Plus, I'm in the WRAL storm tracker. Rain is ponding on the roads and impacting traffic. I'll have a live look.
I'll walk you through our wet evening, hour by hour, and show you when we're in the clear.
We're going to be returning education very simply back to the states.
Dismantling the Department of Education, the uncertainty that now looms for North Carolina's college students.
Great to have you with us. Lots to talk about tonight. How about the lens here at Rocky Mount Mills? A lot of rain out there. It has been a rainy evening as we take a look at the radar as well. The storm that came through our area today is on its way out. It's over the eastern part of our area right now. Thank you for joining us here at 7. I'm Dan Haggerty.
And I'm Ashley Rowe. The WRAL weather alert day is nearly over. The worst of the system is almost gone. Kat, when can we say that this is going to be 100% behind us?
Well, I would say 8 o'clock, we're in the clear from these impacts. Check this out. In Wake County, the worst is over. You can see the sun shining, and you should get a pretty nice sunset tonight over North Hills. But we are still dealing with some pretty heavy rain in parts of Wayne County, up into Wilson and Edgecombe County. Even Nash County still seeing some heavy rain at the moment. That means that the rain is still coming down if you're trying to head out to dinner in Goldsboro, Wilson, just east of Rocky Mounts, where we have some of the heaviest rain, but we're really clearing out nicely here in the Triangle. Not just the rain, but the clouds as well. By 8 o'clock, you can see the bulk of the rain is gone, maybe just a little bit left in Edgecombe, Halifax, and Northampton counties. But after that, this is all going to continue to clear out, and it would just be partly cloudy skies tonight. But this is going to open the door for a dip in the jet stream and some cooler air to rush in from Canada. However, I'm not as concerned about the frost threat tonight. I'll outline why and have a closer look at the pollen count coming up.
All right, Kat, thanks very much. This is Brian Schrader in the WRAL Live Center, and things are drying out in the Triangle, but we are still seeing some problems in our eastern viewing area. This is a live look, or almost live look, out at 64 at Highway 58 in Nashville in Nash County, and we have a crash out there blocking some lanes on 64. Here's a look at traffic and radar together, and you can see that along that I-95 corridor from around the Smithfield-Selma area up through Wilson, Rocky Mount, and Roanoke Rapids, that's where we're seeing the heaviest rain right now. So I-95, 64, 264, and 70. It's going to be wet for at least the next little while.
All right, thank you for the update. Now to the big story today. President Donald Trump signing a new executive order today to dismantle the Department of Education. This is the one everybody has been talking about. The headlines like Trump's vision for dismantling the Department of Education. Trump's education secretary may be asked to dismantle the education department. Even though that order was signed today, these articles were published over a month ago. And well, to be fair, this idea was always part of Trump's plan. It was right there in Agenda 47. We are going to close the Department of Education in Washington, D.C. and send it back to the states. Pretty clear. Well, the time has come, and here he is, President Trump, earlier this afternoon, signing his 93rd executive order of now his second term. So let's talk about it. Order up! The goal is right there in the name, improving education outcomes by empowering parents, states, and communities. It says the Secretary of Education shall, to the maximum extent appropriate and permitted by law, take all necessary steps to facilitate the closure of the Department of Education. And you'll notice it says take all necessary steps. You see, the president can't close the department all by himself. He needs Congress to do this, and it appears this executive order accounts for that. So what could this mean for our area, both in the short term and long term? WRAL's Destiny Patterson went to find out.
Many of the students that I spoke to here say that they're uncertain about how this executive order could impact them. That's because it's not clear who will now oversee these federal programs.
I'm one of the few first people in my family to go to college.
A big part of Timmy Ogilvy's journey, financial aid.
I am from a single mom family.
Just starting her time here at NC State as an international student, she eventually plans to get a graduate degree as well.
I wanted to have a good future for myself and set myself up for success.
But uncertainty looms for her and other students after President Trump signed an executive order to scale back the Department of Education. According to the University of North Carolina system, public universities receive about $1.5 billion in federal financial aid and billions more in federal student loans. The Trump administration says the critical programs will be protected, including Pell Grants and student loans and some civil rights laws. The idea is to give states more authority over federal programs.
Offices like our Atlanta office.
I talked to Tracy Rapp and Rachel Kavanaugh with the North Carolina Association of Student Financial Aid Administrators over the phone. They say, for now, it's business as usual.
We understand that, this is their future, their college at stake, and that we will do everything we can to keep that money available for them.
We haven't been advised of any changes with the Pell Grant or loans at this point, so I would say not to get too worried. I think those things will be the same.
Congress will need to give the final approval to dismantle the Department of Education. Freshman Israel Maddox is hoping the people who have the power to make decisions think of students like him.
A vote in favor of keeping the Department of Education is a vote in favor of people like me who want to make the country a better place.
Destiny Patterson, WRAL News.
So Destiny touched on a bit of what's next now. So we know Republicans have already said that they are planning some legislation to follow through with the president's order. North Carolina Congresswoman Deborah Ross put out her statement today. It says, "My colleagues and I will fight this illegal action with everything we can." So Democrats are also planning to file a lawsuit here. But barring a judge's order, it's important to remember that Republicans do control both chambers of Congress. So if Ross and Democrats want any chance of blocking a bill to close the Department of Education, they're going to need at least a few Republicans on their side.
Well, if you're watching us live tonight, I'm guessing college basketball isn't your thing. But I'm also willing to bet that someone you know is super into it. And if you're feeling maybe left out of the conversation, I'm here to help you with a few things that you can bring up. McNeese State upset Clemson. They weren't supposed to win, but they did. And their head coach, Will Wade, is reportedly coming to NC State next year. How about this one? UNC and Duke play tomorrow, and they are the only ACC teams left in the field. Speaking of Duke, they get to play in Raleigh. It's basically a home game. Fans are really into this. So much so that they're showing up to practice. WRAL's Monica Casey was there too.
This arena will be packed with basketball lovers for tomorrow's games, but more than 24 hours before tip-off, Duke fans traveled here for a special show from their Blue Devils. Duke fans are happy to see their superstar Cooper Flagg on the court, maybe none more excited than his #1 fan, Cooper Gardner.
So he's 3 years old, and he loves Cooper Flagg, don't you, buddy? Yeah, it's his favorite.
His father, Matt, is ready for a long weekend of basketball games.
I've always been a Duke fan, but sharing it with your kids is totally different, so it's an awesome experience.
And little Cooper rested up before seeing his idol.
It's like Santa Claus, though. He kind of froze up for a little bit, but he was very excited.
He wasn't the only one hoping for a glimpse of the star.
I am here watching Cooper Flagg play on the court.
Is he your favorite player? Rob and Bailey Leach traveled from Kernersville, jumping into new family traditions.
It's awesome. I got 3 daughters, so this is just one of them, the oldest. But it's so cool just watching her rep the colors and become a fan like I was when I was a kid.
The Montgomery family also attended the free event, Carvel teaching his son about Duke basketball along the way.
He thought he was coming to see LeBron James, so I had to break it to him that he's not here. But we can at least see Cooper Flagg, who should be playing against LeBron James soon.
They're checking an NCAA event off their bucket list in their new home.
Sporting events bring together people, so obviously anytime we can bond and create these sort of memories, like they may not remember it, but we'll remember it.
Nate Moore's family is also new to the area, but his son Lennon has been all in on Duke for years.
I did make like 5 brackets, so.
Does Duke win all 5?
Oh, 100%.
In Raleigh, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
I'm looking up Cooper Flagg stuff because
it's amazing.
He's 18. He just turned 18.
I know. And look at his superstar status. This is something that I always kind of just get a little shook about whenever March Madness rolls around.
Yeah.
Is these kids, these
Right.
young guys and women are treated like true superstars. That's a lot for them to take on.
Yes, and Duke is playing at home. They're favored by a zillion points, but March Madness, anything can happen. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that Shire's got them focused.
Yeah.
Right.
I think all these coaches are good about that.
But, let's see what happens.
I know.
It's always exciting. So nobody, as we're moving forward with this newscast here, likes sticker shock when something suddenly becomes much more expensive. And that's especially true when it comes to your property taxes. Wake County, we know that, right? It wants to ease the pain a little bit for you. But will it actually save you money? Let's talk about it after the break.
Plus, Raleigh rolls out a trash trapper. Dan's favorite. We'll show you how it's going to clean up the city's waterways.
What's that supposed to mean?
We got a pretty significant update from Wake County this week that has to do with your property taxes. The county is going to reevaluate property values more frequently.
That's when they do that broad assessment of all the properties in the county, and then they assign a value to every single property or home, the value that then factors into what you pay in property taxes. Now, in the past, Wake County did this every 4 years, but they're going to change that. Moving forward, it's going to be more like every 2 years. So the next revaluation is going to be 2027, and then the one following that's going to be in 2029. So why are they doing this? Well, they say it's for you. It's so that you can avoid that sticker shock, that huge increase after 4 years. Wake County property values did jump 51% between 2020 and 2024. That's significant. Many people got a much higher property tax bill because of this. We have gone into this and explained this big jump before.
Let's bring you the highlights. The pandemic that shut down the world, right? To keep the housing market afloat, interest rates dropped to historic lows. By 2021, they were at 2.65% on a 30-year mortgage. At the same time, millions of people fled big cities, many coming to North Carolina. The Triangle was one of the 10 fastest growing areas in the U.S. during that time. Add in the trillions of dollars in COVID aid and supply chain chaos, we entered an age of inflation.
So that led to headlines like this: rising cost of steel, lumber, and copper, hampering home building, pushing house prices out of reach. And today, new homes still are not being built fast enough to meet the demand out there. First-time home buyers are essentially being priced out. And the current homeowners, the people who have a place, they aren't moving. And why would they? Who would want to lose those super low mortgage rates? Take this all together, and that's why your home is so much more valuable right now than it was just a few years ago, and why taxes are so much higher.
And more frequent revaluations really won't change this trend, but here's what will change. You might not see those big jumps in value anymore, like the 51% figure we saw last year. Instead, it's intended to bring more smaller, frequent jumps, opening the door to more frequent property tax jumps, though, as well.
So if you do the math on that and you ask yourself, is it all worth it to your bottom line? As long as the area does consistently continue to grow and your home value consistently climbs, in the long run, more frequent evaluations could end up costing you more, but the increases won't feel as dramatic. Is that worth it? Well, property reevaluation and property taxes is something that we have covered extensively. A while back, we went on the record with local professors and professionals to talk about this subject. We talked about how you can challenge your valuation and how you can use that value to your advantage. That story is on the WRAL YouTube page right now. If you're interested in this, if it applies to you, you should go on and check it out.
And that's the most fascinating thing, is that this applies to everybody.
Sure.
Yeah. Hey, every year, Wake County holds a big sweep. And since 2006, volunteers have cleaned up 500,000 pounds of litter from neighborhoods and waterways.
Since we can't hold a big sweep every single day, the city of Raleigh is getting a little help. And this is the kind of story that gets a certain someone just really interested in the news. Trashy. He's back, everybody. This is my not-so alter ego from my hometown in West Virginia. He's passionate about waste management and cleaning up litter. We tried to make him Fayetteville's trash mascot, but the city went with Spiffy instead. Okay.
Spiffy's cute.
Sure. I digress. A new device in Raleigh is catching trash in local waterways. It's pretty amazing before it actually reaches the Neuse River.
The trash trap was installed in the Marsh Creek. I want to know what Trashy thinks of the trash trap.
He'd love it.
It's the latest addition to Sound River's program to keep streams and rivers clean. The trap collects floating litter before it can travel downstream.
The Great Raleigh Cleanup and their workforce team has removed over 4,000 pounds of trash out of the waterways alone. So we see a ton of litter. And if you can see, we just cleaned up the trash trap, but along the banks, along the roads, I'm sure people see litter is a big issue.
Crews cleared this trap today, but the fight against litter continues. Organizers say proper trash disposal and cleanup events are critical to stopping pollution at the source.
And it starts with all of us. Just do the right thing,
yeah.
Right? Make sure that your garbage is getting where it's supposed to be. All right, Kat Campbell joining us now. Looks a whole lot different behind you than it did a few hours ago, Kat.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful evening out here at Lake Gaston. You can still see the raindrops on the lens, but you get the sunset in the distance. Big improvements. The water's still pretty choppy out there, though. After the storms have passed, still pretty windy as well. We're mostly done with the rain in the Triangle. Our northern counties, we can't rule out one final little quick passing shower, but the bulk of this is pushing east around Raleigh. We should be in pretty good shape. We'll just watch for this. That's about it that we would have left. So the worst has passed. We are still seeing rain, though, up toward Roanoke Rapids, Rocky Mount. The rain is almost over for you, as well as Wilson. Edgecombe County, Tarboro is still seeing rain. So is Goldsboro. You still have just a little ways to go in Goldsboro as this rain moves to the north and east. By 9 o'clock, our rain chances drop to just 20%, and then overnight we will be dry. The mountains could see some snow, though, on the backside of this system. The good news here is we need a little rain to help with the pollen. The pollen count today, just under 500. The last pollen count before today's was about 100. So we saw a big jump. I could see it with my eyes. I could see it on my car, and I could definitely feel it. Oak pollen, pine pollen issues out there. Just remember, compare that 480. The usual peak is over 2,000. So we still have a ways to go. The plus side to spring. Today's the first day of spring, by the way. The hummingbird sightings are ramping up. You should see some of them here in central North Carolina in no time. We've got a great weekend. If you want to make outdoor plans, it is mostly sunny and dry both days this weekend. 73 Saturday, 73 Sunday. The difference between the 2 days, Saturday will be the windier of the 2 days, and there will be a pretty significant threat for brush fire Saturday. Banning is prohibited across North Carolina both Friday and Saturday due to the fire risk this weekend. So please refrain from burning this weekend. Do some other outdoor activities. The bus stop forecast off to a chilly start tomorrow, but I do think that the wind should really help to keep the frost at bay, and pretty marginal temperatures. Even in Roxborough, we're still in the upper 30s there, and in Durham, Raleigh 40 degrees, 42 in Rocky Mount and Fayetteville, 43 in Goldsboro. At the bus stop in the morning. Highs tomorrow are cooler in the low to mid 60s, but it's sunny. It's going to be a pretty nice day. Those numbers are actually pretty close to normal this time of year. The normal high is 64. Then we're in the 70s, a nice 10-degree jump for the weekend. Monday is when our next weather maker arrives. At this point, it looks like it would bring rain, probably not storms. That could change, so we'll keep an eye on it as we get closer and come into range of the high-resolution models. Next week, highs are in the 60s, even 70 degrees on Thursday. We're not looking at any 80s next week, but those temperatures are still near or just above normal for this time of year, so we're not doing too bad for March.
All right, Kat, thank you so much. Hey, a group of NC State students saw how Helene devastated Western North Carolina, and they got to work. What started as their senior project could one day save lives. That's tonight's One Last Thing, and it's right after the break.
But first, let's get you ready for the weekend. There's so much to do in our area, out and about. One last thing for you tonight. A group of NC State students could change the way we respond to emergencies.
They are part of a worldwide competition called Go Arrow. NC State's team is called Rescue Pack. So here's the technology they're developing. It's a drone that can carry up to 650 pounds, a drone that can carry people. The idea is if a person needing help is in a hard-to-reach place, somewhere cars, boats, or even helicopters cannot approach, this drone could save them.
It's still early on in the competition. NC State got through stage 1, which was just the plans and the drawings that you see there. They say this whole thing started with a senior project last year, but after Hurricane Helene devastated Western North Carolina, they felt that they had to see their project through to the end.
Considering things that happened in Asheville with hurricanes and that have impacted us, we kind of took this, it kind of became a twofold mission. How can we help in a scenario of, in Asheville, will we be able to do something? And that's what our final goal is. If we build a craft, can we create an impact at the end of the day? And to achieve that, we have to go through these design trade studies to make sure that not only the people in the craft are safe, but it's not going to affect someone else.
I love the mission behind this. Rescue Pack won about $30,000 to spend on stage 2 of the competition. They'll be creating a prototype. That is due in September.
More investors, let's see what the next phase looks like and see who's going to get interested. But, seems like a great idea after what we saw out there.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us here on WRAL. Our next newscast is at 10 o'clock on Fox 50 and back here on WRAL tonight at 11.
On behalf of Dan and Trashy and all of us here, have a great night.